to the other. Just going there, scrambling to get the position, grab power. Nobody is telling you how he's going to solve the problem of electricity, bad roads, industrial actions in health, education sector, the insecurity that has destroyed facets of life in northern Nigeria. Listen to the politicians. Maybe the voters this time around need to wake up and become very wise. When people come, no matter which party they come, the electorate needs to ask them, what have you done when you were there? Those promises you made, like late Muhammad Buhari, there were over 60 promises. Have they been fulfilled? When he left power, we still had the problem of energy crisis in Nigeria.
There's one hanging on the president's neck now. They promised that if I don't give you power, don't vote for me. For that's a very long rope hanging on his neck. That's a big promise.
Bola promised that within 2 years we're going to have it. When down to when Fashola became the Minister of Works, Power and Housing,
he said 6 months.
Six months. It failed. In fact, by the time the Buhari government left and Fashola left that office, many of the projects are uncompleted. The debts are being owed to contractors, several trillions. Many have laid off workers and closed shops. Then coming to this administration, Umahi, many contracts have been revoked. Of course, you also find out that the contractors have not been paid for a very long time. What are we saying? We need a democracy where the parties will have supremacy. We need a democracy where the parties have ideology. We need a democracy where the voters, their votes count.
I think that unfortunately they are taking the back seats now.
Yes, some things are happening that just don't add up. If I may just take us back to the Obasanjo administration, we know when he sank 10 billion into power then, into the power sector, and people thought, oh, things would improve. The National Assembly went on visits to all the stations, and at the end of the day, what happened because of problems of turbines and but then that's not really what we're looking at today, but we're looking at the fact that our leaders have not been able to meet the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. When you look at the Ibadan meeting, opposition parties meeting, it sort of raised the hope of the ordinary Nigerian that maybe the opposition will come together, since they agreed at that meeting that they were going to provide a common front, a common presidential candidate, which is what Nigerians thought, oh, okay, at least this will be strong enough to confront the APC candidates, and of course, in the 2027 election, and people were beginning to have their hopes raised, only for this one to happen, and it's like the opposition is being weakened again.
Uju, I think it is what people have generally regarded as the greed of the politicians. The greed of the politicians. If you take it from Peter Obi, he wants to be on the ballot. No negotiation. He wants to be the one on the ballot. If you take it from Atiku Abubakar, take that to the bank. He wants to be on the ballot. He doesn't want to hear anybody saying, I want to be president. Maybe Kwakwaso is one that probably has not really sang it so loud that he must be.
He said president or vice president.
A president or vice president.
That was the condition.
Now what are we getting? What did we get yesterday? The camps of the opposition, particularly that of Atiku Abubakar, was so saddened yesterday because it is so clear that Atiku Abubakar cannot, with what is happening, cannot defeat the incumbent president without a coalition.
There is no way any of them can defeat anybody with the way they are now.
It's not likely. I'm not saying it's not possible.
There's a way if they get their ass,
but they also need, because they will lose the vote that the way they lost it in 2023. Because if Atiku Abubakar runs on ADC, he's going to get votes. Those votes will not be counted for.
No, what the Atiku camp, they are putting at the back of their mind, they are saying, let the Southerners, the two key Southern candidates, share votes from the South. They are under the assumption that they own the votes from the North.
Can they win election? Can they win the presidency with the votes from the North alone? Is it possible to...
That's the question. Every time, there's an election, any president that wins will win 4 zones. 3 from one part and 1 from the other, starting from Obasanjo up to this time. So for the next election, it will be the same. And Mustafa talked about the defections that are going on. For me, there is no political party in Nigeria. In a real sense, what you have are platforms. What's the difference? There's no difference.
No different ideologies.
Look at the politics, because there are some people now you thought were in APC a month ago.
They are not out yet.
They have moved from APC to and then another party. So political parties for me are dead in Nigeria.
But if you take a deeper look at the hopes that they have, who actually has the hope? Is it Atiku Abubakar that he will win will Atiku Abubakar win all the votes?
I think that even if he had the hope that he would win, that hope has been dashed the way things are right now, because there is no way an Atiku Abubakar can stand and contest an election without the strength of the coalition that he was leaning on. It is the strength of the coalition that can give him that hope. Now that coalition has been dismembered, then there is a very, very serious problem. I don't know how he wants to prosecute his aspiration right now. I don't know how Peter Obi wants to prosecute his aspiration. I don't know how Kwankwasia hopes to pursue his aspiration. Because, you see, if you look at the last 2023 presidential election, the results, it was this same division. If Peter Obi could have 6 million votes, and we know Atiku, think that was about 7 or 8 million. I mean, you can imagine combining these two, what it would produce. It would be a formidable force against anything the APC can do.
What I got yesterday was from the Atiku camp is that they gave everything to appease, to appeal, to beg Peter Obi to be vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar. They said in the words of the very good, I said there was nothing we didn't give to him except the presidential ticket. They promised him that,
and that is what the man wants.
They promised him Atiku Abubakar will run for one term only. They had a dream that they will go with. You remember the Good Lord Jonathan conference? You cover that conference, and several other papers they have written that suggest that we should have a one term of 5 years. They said they were going to ignite that, dust that up, so that Atiku Abubakar will run for just one term, and Obi will be the first beneficiary of that one single term of 5 years. They threw all the cards before him, but unfortunately, he didn't believe them. Are you going to trust Atiku Abubakar with one tenure?
Once you are on that seat, no agreement can work, and nobody can dictate to you which direction to go, number one. And then geographically look at the various aspirants or candidates, as you may wish to call them. Kwankwaso controls only Kano. His party, of course, we have 44 local governments. We are talking about. He cannot even control. He did not even control Jigawa, Katsina, or Kaduna. Just when Balarabe Musa became the governor in 1979, PRP, People's Redemption Party, Balarabe Musa had 2 governors, Kano, Abubakar Rimi, and Balarabe Musa as a governor in Kaduna, and Abubakar Rimi in Kano. Now, when you look at Peter Obi, of course, we know the Gen Z, the youth, especially from
organic
the followership from the southeast and southwest. You can't just wave him away if you come into.
Some people say that he has such organic followership across Nigeria.
Exactly, he can actually make a difference. And then talking about northern Nigeria. Let me tell you.
Can a Kwankwaso combination with Peter Obi, will it make any sense?
It cannot make any difference. If Peter Obi can bring the southwest and southeast votes and youth, Kwankwaso can only succeed in maybe bringing those who support him in Kano. Then that means you are going to lose the majority of votes in the north central, northwest, and northeast. And when you are talking about opposition, is there really any opposition? The new PDP members came with some people around Buhari to form the APC with Tinubu's followers in the southwest. And then immediately after the election, some of them were not happy. They jumped out of that party.
Well, what the opposition did not do is that they were not guided by reason. They were guided by ambitions. All of them have ambitions. We are not talking about Chibika Amechi, who ran for APC candidacy. His dream was to become president. He has been everything except president. Same with Peter Obi, same with Atiku Abubakar. Now, what the APC did in 2015 was to apply reason, rationalism. They looked at the table, and that's what I expected the opposition to do. They paint different scenarios. Because the ultimate objective first is to acquire victory. Now, when you identify the ultimate objective, you look at the processes towards realizing those objectives. They should have done some different scenario. If this is the president, the presidential candidate, and we combine with this, what will it give us? If they do it at a round table in the most objective manner, it will be clear to us.
Now,
but they didn't do it.
We look at the
it was all about ambition.
You know, I listened to the first analysis that you made. You talked about if anybody want to win the election in Nigeria, presidential election in Nigeria, he must get hold of 3 zones.
Four zones. At least 3 from this side and you must
from the other side.
That's what Buhari couldn't do.
Let's look at all of them and look at the 2 camps now. Atiku Abubakar is most likely to lose out completely in the southeast. Almost completely lose out in the southeast because the fever, the idea, the one that has been on ground since the end of the Civil War is like a kind of unity for people in the southeast to support somebody who is. I'm not saying that Hope Uzodinma and just like my governor Edo who said that he had 2.5 I don't know where he kept those votes. He had 2.5 million votes to give to the president. Uzodinma will tell you how so many votes to give. What is the calculation? Look at the zones and let us see, do they have
permutations?
Yes.
Now, in the southeast, the PDP lost out in the southeast when they didn't zone the presidency to it, and that's how they lost it. Now, it's left for everybody to say, southwest, the president will win southwest. Majority. It will be difficult because of that.
Are you too sure of that?
Well,
because even Lagos, where the president even Lagos, where the president comes from, they know that
outside Lagos.
So it's one about communication.
Did they really lost Osun during the last election?
Talk to the people.
But my brotherhood factor, my rapport factor, will help him now for the southwest in the next election.
Now, are they really communicating with those in the grass, maybe at the grassroots? After the election, the politicians at the federal level actually run to the to Abuja, federal capital city. They no longer care. The governors after the election, most of them with their saris, 20, 30 cars around Abuja. Do they communicate with the grassroots? Like Atiku Abubakar, for example, after the elections, he runs to Dubai. Everybody knows that. But then even during the campaigns and the election, we all knew that despite the elites he speaks to and fund, his connection with the grassroots is virtually very, very poor. And that counts.
What is actually fueling Atiku Abubakar's desire to be president anymore? Because
that is his personal ambition.
If you look at the picture, you cannot get it unless you need everybody. Some people say play stay smart. Another thing I got yesterday is that you'll be surprised that in the Atiku camp, they believe Peter Obi is a mole for APC.
But some people also believe that Atiku is a mole for APC.
No, has been on ground since that Atiku is working for APC for the president.
But you know, Atiku cannot work for anybody.
They have not started to say.
When is he looking for money? He can't work for anybody. He is financially comfortable. And then when you look at the age brackets of those looking to become presidents of the country, you are looking at people over 60, 65, 70. Can we become like Canada, Australia, Holland, France, when people at the age of 38, 40, 45?
US.
But you have a grandfather in the
Well, you also have a grandfather in the US. I think that what we're looking at, when it comes to Atiku Abubakar is beyond what you're saying. I mean, we have Trump there. I think that he has a burning ambition to become the president of this country.
Do you have a burning ambition? Do you have a burning ambition cannot be materialized? And you know that
you think that maybe he's an optimist. Optimists are like that. Even in the face of glaring realities, they still believe that they can make it. You can't take that from him. He has a right to aspire.
There's something I want to ask quickly before you continue.
Yes.
There's this view held out there.
Yeah.
Atiku Abubakar has not come out to deny it. that some spiritualists told him
That he will be
we have seen it. We have seen it. That's what it is. Part of it. We are talking about the 3 witches.
The 3 witches also broke his home. I can even quote that for you.
But another one we have to look at is Peter Obi himself. Now, the calculation in the camp of Atiku Abubakar is that the only chance that is available for Peter Obi and indeed the Southeast to enter into the arena in the Villa is to team up with the Southeast the North, and then they will possible for him to run as president.
What did he say? There is an article structure that will guarantee his that same structure will not guarantee the Atiku Abubakar president.
No, they are not looking at the quality. They are looking at the quality.
It's only that structure are giving Atiku the president that you know they have the capacity to now extend it.
Nobody can win the presidency in isolation. Look at the political history of Nigeria. After the first republic, when Chief Azikiwe became the president of Nigeria, then subsequently, unfortunately, the civil war. A lot of things happened, plus or minus. The Southeast tried several times. But you see, when you bring in tribal politics without thinking that you really need other regions to come together in order to get that exalted seat, it becomes a problem. I heard several times people talking about Igbo presidency, but you will never hear things such as Yoruba presidency, Ijo presidency, Hausa presidency, Kanuri presidency.
No, I think
it's never too late for the Southeast to sit on that seat. They can also sit multiple times, but they really need to come together with the numbers they had during election, combined with what other regions need to put together so that they can win the presidency.
I think that they corrected that president of Igbo extraction. I think that's what they often explain. They don't mean the same. You could be a Nigerian president. I mean, a president with a vision of Nigeria. But I think that Ohiria, yes. I think that Peter Obi is beginning to come across as a man who cannot endure crisis within a political space. Is beginning to come across as a man. Yes, but you see, that tells you that he's not the typical politician, because if he is a typical politician, you can't expect a bed of roses. You know that you are within the midst of people who also have the same aspiration that you do, and you need to endure. You have to be able to prove that you deserve that ticket, because you can be, before it can be given to you. You can't just get it. And at the same time, you are also up against a man who is a master strategist. I can assure you, you all know that when it was just PDP, APP, and AD, they all planted moles in all the political parties. PDP will plant, AD will plant, APP will plant. And that is also what we are seeing today, because if you look around, exactly, it's part of the game. And you're up against a man who is a master strategist. You can give that.
I don't know this strategy you're talking about. Is it strategy to disorganize opposition?
Of course,
is that also
the
a noble strategy?
Is
it a strategy? Is it noble to devote resources to disorganize opposition?
It's not noble or here, but the your chances of winning, and that is what we're seeing.
If the opposition parties are sincere and true Democrats, nobody can move in to destroy them or push them out of their party. I can give you an example of one.
Mustafa, are you taking note of the issue of independent National Electoral Commission, the National Assembly, the police, the courts, the judiciary? When you say opposition, see, you can sit down on your own. It's like you are driving on the road and a car veers up from the other lane to come and meet you, or you are on your own doing your job. Look, you are just doing your driving. Now, how is the opposition going to, what are they going to do about somebody amongst them going to court, and the other parties is funded from outside because they want to disorganize.
Look at Sule.
So there's a limit of control that the opposition really has. Because if a president, like the sitting president, like the ruling party, want to disorganize you, there are so many rooms they can use.
Absolutely. But I can tell you, for example, look at Jonathan has been the reference point.
Look at Sule Lamido.
You look at what is happening now, and look at what happened in 2013-14 when APC came. Initially, there were some moves people perceived from government to add that move, but it died down. The push wasn't there. Jonathan, I read it up. Some people are still insisting that he asked the opposition, asked Buhari to send a nominee to INEC. But what he did? Buhari did send a nominee. Amechi, I mean, I'm just, based on what you have said, it's down to the man at the helm in Aso Rock if he's going to be tolerant. And to what extent is he going to be tolerant? That's on one. Or to what extent is he going to be...
Because if you have a man that says power is not given, power is taken, you run... But
this is a global...
You start it and say, look, I'm not doing anything to organize them, but if they are disorganized, I will drink them.
I still stand my ground. Somebody like Sule Lamido, has he changed despite the crisis? Number two, the politicians, how committed are they to their political parties? No matter how bad it is, they need to stand by their party. Let's take UK, for example. Let's take United States and Canada, for example. After ruling for some time, some of these conservatives, Labour, Democratic, Republican, you call them, 90%, 99% of the party members continue to stay in their political parties.
It is for 20 years.
Without being in power, they stay. But you see, there's what we call a national cake. Here, people capitalize on...
Do they play money politics there?
They hardly do.
We question, do they play money politics?
They have their ways of doing corruption, unlike here where you show money. For example, for example, the military-industrial complex in the United States can fund the Republican Party. But when the Republican Party is in power, the Republican Party will look for start crisis in Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever. And then those companies will be selling arms and ammunition to the government. A lot of money will come, and by the time you finish your presidency, they will nominate you as a chairman of one company or the other. A lot of money will come to you. Therefore, the commitment to...
No, they don't nominate former presidents in US.
They give you some positions as chairman of organizations. Now, if you are committed to your party, no amount of inducement or crisis will make you leave your political party.
See, I think that if you look at all that the opposition has gone through or has been going through, particularly all the court cases in recent times, and of course the NDC is not exonerated from this, because if you look at 2 cases came up, even though you may say, oh, what kind of case is this, that they were not properly registered and all of that, but the opposition has not really come to terms with the fact that it is in a very, very tight corner right now, and some of them are working very thin ropes, very thin ropes that may snap.
What we got, Uju, what we got is that the opposition leaders in Nigeria, their aspirations too tied to their personal ambitions.
Yes,
they don't want to listen to any other thing. Yes. Peter Obi must have the ticket. Atiku must have the ticket. It's either VP or vice president or nothing. So these are some of the things we are talking about. It is not like we have people who believe in political party. We already know we don't have people who believe in political parties. Do we even have political parties the way they are? We don't even have them. Political parties they are not funded by members of the party. Because if you are a member of the party, you should be financially responsible to contribute monthly, weekly, annually to the party. But here you have
the big man hijack it and then they begin to take to everybody.
Let's just quickly, because we have a short time to go and our guest is just coming in. Kola Ologbondiyan is a journalist.
What's
He has become a politician. He has become a politician.
I didn't hear that very well.
Among my colleagues,
What?
Yes.
Why?
He's
He's a job politician. He's a job politician.
I was starting being a journalist, but it's also slightly politically exposed.
He did say slightly. He has turned up his 2 times.
I always tease him by saying that he wanted to contest the primaries in Kogi West. Kogi
constituency.
He didn't get the nomination, but that is a different story. Maybe we'll go back to this.
So that makes me a journalist. I remember a senior lawyer. We went to Ghana, and when we got to Ghana, I wanted to introduce him as a senior lawyer. He said, "Please, in the face of what is happening to just call me by my name. Leave the SAN."
So here you prefer to be a journalist?
No, I'm among my colleagues here.
Okay, now let's talk about what.
But our viewers need to understand his background and consideration.
Well, Kola Olobodiyan, journalist, editor, worked with in the Senate as SA Media to David Mark for the length of time David Mark was Senate president, and is a member of the was a member of the PDP. He rose to become the spokesperson of the PDP. That's why he cannot deny being politically exposed.
And he was the
He
chairman.
was a member of the NWC at the position.
He was the chairman of the ADC convention planning for this media subcommittee.
Okay, let's meet him. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
What happened in your party yesterday?
Which one? A lot of things happened. A lot of things have been happening in the ADC.
Okay, the one that happened
The defection of your
I hear your party office was cold yesterday.
Yesterday was Sunday, so I didn't have to go to the office. No, I'm Catholic. I had to go to mass, so I wasn't in the office. So I don't know the
Mass
temperature.
is 1 hour.
I don't know the temperature of the
Let's talk about what really happened. You couldn't hold yourselves together?
Well, I think it's about ambition, like you guys have been talking about since. And I think politicians drive after their ambition. But the painful thing in this part of the world is that nobody cares about the followers. People just follow themselves. So they take that decision and they expect everybody to kito. And that's why the challenge that we have now is that there are greater divisions here and there. So as a journalist like you guys, that's what I would love to say.
You know that what happened yesterday has sort of weakened your position and the strength of your party, because that move was a very, very big move.
Well, I won't doubt what you have said. I think that luckily for the parties, the respective parties, they still have time
To come together.
to come together or to reorganize themselves or to rearrange themselves. That's if the landmines planted in all the parties.
We are not aware of landmines. Tell us about the landmines.
The landmines.
We have heard that.
You didn't hear when Femi Gbajabiamila told Leke Abejide, the member representing Yagba West, go there, go and fight, and scatter.
But he's tired of fighting, he has left.
No, even when he was fighting, he knew where he was going. His ticket was waiting. He didn't need to do primary with anybody.
As in APC.
As in APC, his ticket was already waiting. He didn't need primaries with anybody. So he was on errand to do what he has done. Take the party to court, cause division, malign the party, and when you finish there, here is your ticket. He's collected his ticket already.
So let's take it back to.
Beyond that, you will be aware that the Attorney General of the Federation, against the spirit of the Constitution, I'm talking about Fagbemi SAN.
That's he has 2 positions.
And the Minister of Justice.
Perhaps he took that action as meaning.
He went to court and said party should be deregistered. Then you ask yourself,
No, he's citing constitutional provisions.
there's no constitutional
So
provision.
he can argue that he's
The constitutional provision, there's no party, there's no political party in Nigeria here, except it's registered. I say all these NDC and the ones that are just registered.
But you know he swore to uphold the law. Are you sure he was not protecting me?
What I'm saying is this: the conditions listed in the Constitution for a party to be deregistered, there's no party that will not scale those conditions. That you should have a councillor, or you have a chairman, or you have a member of assembly, or you score particular percentage of votes, or there's no condition. So it's just a landmine.
to intra-ADC matter.
Yeah, let's go.
Because I know you still have court cases the Supreme Court say get back and to the High Court. And there's a High Court judgment already against ADC.
Yes.
I don't know whether they are. So is there an air of uncertainty?
There's no. Are you asking if there's an air or there's an air of uncertainty? If you ask,
How are you dealing with that?
if you ask me,
Yes, how is
dealing with the air of uncertainty in that? If you I thought we are colleagues. We didn't say that we are here, so I'm here as a politician. So how can I be dealing if I'm a journalist? I can't be dealing.
To manage these strange bedfellows, because some of us predicted long ago an Atiku, Kwankwaso, Obi, El-Rufai coming into ADC, and we know that none will withdraw or step down for the other. Of course, El-Rufai has a lot of serious problems with the judiciary now. We don't know how it's going to end, but like we predicted, they will all one by one leave. Now maybe Atiku might end up as usual getting the ticket, but we don't know where the ticket will take him.
Is there any other person contesting?
Is there any other contesting presidency?
How do you mean? Emeka Wajuba is an aspirant in ADC. I'm not aware that he has left. Rotimi Amechi is an aspirant on the platform of the ADC. I'm not aware he has left. Hayatuddin is an aspirant on the platform of APC. I'm not aware. Yes, Hayatuddin. Your own
Hayatuddin of PDP.
Your own Hayatuddin is an aspirant.
There are so many Hayatuddin. So which one are you talking about?
the business model?
The former chairman of First Bank. He's in the ADC. He's aspiring to lead. So I don't know this tendency of mythical creation where we say, oh, this particular person. Oh, this is okay. If the name is louder and because it's the most experienced. Do you think it's actually the reason in the NDC, in the new NDC that people are talking about? Yes. Is it certain? Have you found out? Is it clear that there's an agreement between Kwankwaso and Obi that one person will be the president and the other person will be the vice president? We are not sure. So what if they got there and the two of them wants to be on the ticket? It's not an impossibility.
But let me take you back to your party.
Yes.
You mentioned so many names. Which name is louder in terms of contesting for presidency? I think
because I've known everybody likes why you asking caller on offset question. This article is loud. Because Atiku is the most popular, so to say. Okay. Among the I'm prominent among the
Are you sure he's the most popular?
Among the contestants in ADC as we are speaking.
With the obedient movement?
He is. No, obedient movement. Are you coming back? Are you confirming that they are coming?
Oh, okay.
You see me, let me tell you my disposition, and I say this with every sense of responsibility. I always believe that where there are political parties, people should be allowed to give expression to their political aspirations. And in doing that, come out. If you want to aspire, come out, contest the election. If the party says that it is you, then it is you. But if it says you are not, then please be patient, because it's 4 years.
Was that what Peter Obi did do?
I don't know what he did, and I don't know what he did.
No, I mean he was not patient enough.
Where are we? The party is over 2 years.
Going back to our prediction that
Can we also say the same thing of Atiku Abubakar, that he was not patient enough considering his age and the number of times he has contested?
Well, you see, political aspirations are very personal. Oh yeah. If somebody come and tell you now that you are not supposed to sit down here, so go. Whereas it's your wish to stay, to be here. You won't like it. So me, I don't have anybody.
We must wind up now because our time is. We must wind up now because our time is.
Why did ADC not take a position on zoning?
It will get there. It's a process.
All right.
It's a process. The party has said clearly that they're either doing consensus or doing direct primary. That's certain. They didn't say we will do consensus and we will not do direct primary. They didn't say we will do direct primary, we will not do consensus. So these things are done procedurally.
All right.
If you come out today and say we are going to show them, somebody is going to tell us.
We really have to go now because of our time. Caller Olobodiyan, we want to appreciate you for joining us in this.
Congratulations in this novel arrangement. Very novel. Thank you. And I think you deserve my clapping.
Thank you
for
your applause for us, and we hope that you can be sure that we'll trouble you to come here at the last minute. We'll call you to say, look, come and explain to us, because you feel comfortable with us. You are one of us.
Yes.
You say it the way it is. You have done that over the years. Political platform is one that would continue to excite the public. We will give you the way we have always given it over the years on radio, and we will know that we have all the answers, questions, and analysis that we have to do to get you to where you are. Whether you are listening on radio, you are listening on YouTube platform, or you are on AIT listening to us, it's a good deal that we are promising you, and we want to tell you that you will definitely
get value for your time.
Value for your time that you are going to give to us. And you must also get back to us. Tell us what you are. You know all our platform, all the platforms to get to us. Is it a political platform at group.com? We will write to us. Tell us what you feel about it. I'm excited to be back here, and I think we will have to wrap up now on today's program as we do on behalf of Mustafa Mohammed, Amechi Anakwe, and Uju Eje, as well as our guest, Kola Olobodinyo Amokiri Agbonsuremi. Thank you so much for staying with us, and join us same time tomorrow for another edition of the program.